When I look out my window, many sights to see. And when I look in my window, so many different people to be, that it's strange, so strange. You got to pick up every stitch. You got to pick up every stitch. You got to pick up every stitch. Must be the season of the witch. Must be the season of the witch, yeah. Must be the season of the witch. When I look over my shoulder, what do you think I see? Some other cat looking over his shoulder at me, and he's strange, sure is strange. You got to pick up every stitch. You got to pick up every stitch, yeah. Beatniks out to make it rich. Oh no, must be the season of the witch. Must be the season of the witch, yeah. Must be the season of the witch. You got to pick up every stitch. The rabbits running in the ditch. Beatniks out to make it rich. Oh no, must be the season of the witch. Must be the season of the witch. Must be the season of the witch. Where'd I go? When I look out my window, what do you think I see? And when I look in my window, so many different people to be. It's strange, sure is strange. You got to pick up every stitch. You got to pick up every stitch. The rabbits running in the ditch. Oh no, must be the season of the witch. Must be the season of the witch, yeah. Must be the season of the witch. Where'd I go? Where'd I go?
What's up, guys? So we're gonna get started here in probably 10 minutes or so. Apologies again for the really crappy video quality, but we're gonna roll with it for now. I'll explain more I'll just play more Y later. But yeah, I'm just gonna be playing some tunes. Guys, it's fall now. I'm gonna play some more tunes while we wait for everyone to get in here. Get hype.
Take a little walk to the edge of town and go across the track where the viaduct looms like a bird of doom as it ships and cracks, where secrets lie in the border fires and the humming wires. Yeah, man, you know you're never coming back. Across the square, across the bridge, past the mills, past the stacks. On a gathering storm comes a tall, handsome man in a dusty black coat with a red right hand.
He'll rekindle all the dreams that took you a lifetime to destroy. He'll reach deep into the hole, heal your shrinking soul, but there won't be a single thing that you can do. He's a god, he's a man, he's a ghost, he's a guru. They're whispering his name through this disappearing land, but hidden in his coat is a red right hand. You don't owe no money, get you some. You don't have no car, get you one. You don't have no self-respect, you feel like an insect. Well, don't you worry, buddy, cause here he comes through the ghettos and the barrio and the barry and the slum. His shadow is cast wherever he stands, stacks of green paper in his red right hand. You'll see him in your nightmares, you'll see him in your dreams. He'll appear out of nowhere, but he ain't what he seems. You'll see him in your head on the TV screen. Hey buddy, I'm warning you to turn it off. He's a ghost, he's a god, he's a man, he's a guru. You're one microscopic cog in his catastrophic plan, designed and directed by his red right hand.
Well, Welcome. Oh, who is in the chat? Hell yeah. Welcome, guys. How you guys doing? Hold on, let me switch this over real quick. I'm so sorry for the this quality. This has sort of been a nightmare to deal with. But here I am. It's me in the flesh, in 360p flesh. What's up, guys? Yes, everyone spam my name. So, this is gonna be interesting. I've never done something like this before, and I've really wanted to make live streams work, but because of my really crappy internet, I just haven't been able to. And I think today was like, thank the Lord that we actually got this far. Even though I'm in 360p, at least it's something. How are you guys doing though? I have got my tea. I saw some tea banter in the chat earlier. I'm drinking what is this? This is vanilla caramel black tea, and it is amazing. $360p potato quality. Listen, all right, I'm gonna get this squared away next time. I promise. I'm gonna figure this out. I need to figure this out somehow, some way. I do have a backup plan if this setup falls through, but it's a hassle, and I really don't want to mess with it. But if it comes down to it, the stream will go on. So, you know what? I think it's time. To bring on our guests. I think it's time for this to go down, for this to happen. Oh, you didn't know that we had some guests tonight? Because we do. Fun fact. Mr. RedHotPunch, aka Fantastic Daily, aka Papa Punch, in the house. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Aiden?
Yeah? What's up?
I can barely hear you. You sound like you're far away.
Really? Hold on. Let me fix.
There we go.
How's that? Okay. It was on my other. Yeah, there we go. Hell yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, dude. I'm doing good. I'm watching the live stream here. It doesn't look that bad. I got you up on a 4K monitor. It doesn't look that bad.
Okay, that's good. I was really.
Either.
Oh, and there she is.
I figured it out.
Yay! So RedHotPunch and Loey Lane. You guys should be familiar with these people already. You're here. You should know who these people are already.
We are in Aiden Elliott's stream, so it's like we're among fame, truly.
I think this face cam is a bold choice, Aiden.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got I was so happy with this lighting setup. I'm really.
I was going to ask you about that blue light. Is that didn't happen by accident?
No. Oh,
no. Of course not.
No. That would be silly. So yeah, gosh. What's up?
Is there like a bit of, I guess there's like lag. I was just now reading the chat and people were just now saying. So I don't know how far.
Yeah, there's a little bit of lag. I think I brought the latency down as much as I could, but I don't know if I don't know how much.
I never live stream anywhere because I don't know what I'm doing at any given point in time. I've been doing this for like years, so you're a million steps ahead of me.
I appreciate that. I don't feel a million steps ahead with this stupid technical bullshit.
It's stressful. Live streaming's stressful, dude. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I think I take it for granted because I just let you set everything up, so I don't have to worry about any of it. Ever.
Yeah, it's plug and play for you. You just show up in my stream, and it's just like,
It's like, I'll drop my Patreon in the chat and then leave. It's like a hit and run.
It's great, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, it's wild to see your face while we're talking, man. I can't. I feel like I even got to close the window here. This is not normal.
Are you gonna keep out over his hands?
Oh yeah, gosh, the
You
hand
cannot
talk
only
before.
do-
This is, if you're coming from somewhere else and you don't know me, I'm the creator of TheSunVanished. This is proof because of my hands right here. This is my
Jesus,
hands.
look at those monsters. They look like face huggers. Jesus.
They kind of are just a little bit. I can cup a basketball. They're not that. No, they're not that big. They're not that big. I think they're bigger. My wrist is small, so then my hands look disproportionately bigger. They are big, but not crazy big. They look crazy.
I'm gonna have to consider that next time I draw a little cartoon of you, because usually it's the hair that is the differentiating factor.
Yeah.
But maybe I got to make it the hair and the hands.
Yeah,
You should.
I mean, I just was telling him that in my first few SunVanished episodes, can obviously see, and so there were daddy hand comments, and I'm like, guys,
daddy hand comments, Jesus.
I gotta put together a compilation or something. I can't believe Inside of Mind is missing this.
I'm sure he gets them too, but maybe well, actually, I take that back because his audience is much different than your what. So okay, so Loey, I'm gonna turn this sort of into an interview because this is about to happen. But how do you see your audience? What demographic do you think they fit into? Do they even fit into a demographic?
It kind of changes, and I think it changes on what I'm talking about the most. When I'm covering a lot of web series and stuff like that, I find that it's primarily younger, like 13 to maybe 18, and then split with I would say 30% that, then maybe 30% 18 to 24, but it's mostly girls.
That's what
I don't have a lot of guys.
Yeah. You gave I have you to thank for all of the Aiden Elliott fangirls out there. I can't say that with this. I can't straight that straight. I can't do that.
God, those poor girls. Jesus.
Yeah. Man, I'm honestly a little concerned for them with the daddy hand comments.
Yeah. Well, that's where the hand thirst comments are coming from. Is from the Aiden Elliott fangirls.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, I remember the day that you messaged me and you were like, "Hey, I created the SunVanished," and I was like, "Well, it's all downhill from here, boys."
Wow. Okay.
No, but obviously, everybody loves you, and I'm so glad that you're doing things as you and not just
Yeah, I mean, it's been a weird transition for sure, because I think everyone kind of expected TSV to always kind of be, just be some Joe Schmo who didn't really, that was their one thing, their 5 seconds of fame. And I'm not here for that. I'm here for the long haul. I want to be making stuff until the day I die.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
king of making things until the day you die. Love that for you.
Thanks. I have
kind of establishing your own personal brand then,
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
not,
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm trying to cultivate here, and that's part of the reason why I'm doing this update thing, because I want to talk about sort of what my game plan is to streamline a lot of, because I have so many different projects going on, and I think it confuses people, so I want to give a rundown of what my process is and what I'm doing and what I've been working on over the past has it been 2 months, 3 months since the last TSV tweet? Because people are like, where's TSV? And it's well, I don't, I'm working. It's just behind the scenes. So I kind of want to show some of that and talk things through, and then get feedback from people in the chat and from you guys on a lot of that, because I want all of this to be sort of this is my thing, but it's also I want it to be your thing too, if that makes sense. This is all cultivated through community, and I think that's one of the important. I mean, that's the only reason why TheSunVanished has made it this far. At least I believe. It's only been it's only been a portion of me. The rest has been you guys. So, and I really appreciate that. So, I have no notes. Actually, that's a lie. I have a couple bullet points, but besides that, I'm running down. I decided to do this live stream last minute. I just decided this morning. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make it happen.
Well, dude, you and I talk about this all the time behind the scenes.
It's true, yeah.
And so I've got a million questions, and I
Okay.
feel like I could speak for the audience. Here.
Yeah. Well, that's why you're here. That's definitely why you're here. And same for you, Loey. Yeah.
I feel so awful. No, I definitely, it has been a while since the last update, and I know that people follow you and have followed TheSunVanished so religiously and love, they love the story because it's just good at the heart of it. There's no real, we don't have many names of characters to hang on to or anything like that. It's more so just like actual act of like surviving, and how here it is at the base of it is like so. It's just so good. So I'm a fangirl. I'll go hard. I'll thwart out the daddy hand comments. Like I'm here.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, that brings up a great point because RedHotPunch and I have been talking about like how, because I've kind of been honestly part of the reason why TSV has been so off and on overall, even from the beginning, I think is because I've developed this like huge cumbersome arc that is really cool, and I'm really thankful that I'm doing it, and it's I think it's really good, but it's not long lasting. So I'm trying to find something, because ultimately my goal is with TSV is, because I think people like it enough, I want to like develop this into something that is actually long lasting, and that people can like it grows into its own, something like SCP or like any of those where it's like it's community fueled. Like set a groundwork and then let the community just go from there wherever they want to go with it. We can take it there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the great things you built with TSV is that like it started with this very simple story, but it's the world building that you have like, the like what's right beyond what is going on in the Twitter account is so very interesting. And that's what I always ask you about is like, what's next for this world? Because this world, you've got this one story with Danyan and the TSV character and whatnot, but like this world is so much bigger, and you could tell a million stories inside of the TSV universe.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that's something I want to cultivate, and not be so focused on these very few characters, because I love storytelling like that, but it's just so hard to keep going over. I mean, it's been over a year now.
Mm-hmm. So what is your plan with that? What have you been doing for the last couple months, and what is your plan going forward?
So that's a simple question, and it has a crazy complex answer. We're
ready.
Yeah. So I started working on the TheSunVanished web series, and that's something that I've been passionate about and wanting to do for a while. And honestly, ever since the beginning, I'm like, man, this would be something really cool if I could, work it into how the Twitter account is, and sort of have it as like a sister project. Like that'd be something really cool to do. So that's something that I started working on super hard in June and July, and then I was like, because I even said in a couple of places, I was saying that I was going to start shooting, like I had the scripts and I was going to start shooting in July. Turns out that didn't work out. So I think I was jumping into it a little quickly. Because
you're thinking about this like a full-on production, right? This is like an actual film shoot.
Yeah. And so I was trying to scramble to get all of this working, and I could have made it work. But as I was getting deeper into it, I realized I want to take this slow and do it the right way, because that's that's how I've always approached my projects. I haven't just jumped into something without thinking about it and harping on it for a concentrated time. It's just not. That's not. I don't think that's how I make good content. So yeah, go ahead.
And have you changed like what the overarching have you changed the story at all since you started writing TheSunVanished? Because it has been like a year.
Yeah.
So it's been a pretty solid amount of time. I guess, this is never something I personally ever even attempted to do. So I'm just curious to know what that process is like. Did you know everything and then just start filming and, creating content and, drafting out the story? Or has it been like re-edited?
Yeah. It's been a lot of evolution since the beginning. Like most of what happens I have not had planned out super far into the future. I have big bullet points planned, and then everything in between, and even a lot of the cool stuff that people end up liking was just improvisation or on the spot or done within like a week's worth of time.
Is it all a one-man show then? Is it all like, does TheSunVanished reside within just you?
Yes.
Okay.
The only thing that I've gotten help from friends in the past, like actors and stuff like that, like for the hypnotized people, if that's what you want to call them. But that's been it, and just getting mentorship from people of like where would you go with this, and what can I do, branching off of that. But that's really been the only two things. The rest of it has been me, which is kind of crazy with something at this scale. That's not something that I'm used to working, like that's not a condition I'm used to working with at this level. I've done stuff by myself for a long time, but it's just been tiny projects and not something super long term. But this is like, I think I'm starting to feel, well, not starting to, I'm feeling the just the engrossment of just how much it really is and how big it really is. And
it's like 500,000 followers, right?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I try not to think about that very often, but it's
I can
starting.
understand that. Yeah.
But it's starting to like creep into like how, like it affects how I'm making it. If it were only 500 followers, I would be doing things much differently, and maybe not as good, maybe better. I don't know, but it would certainly.
What would you do different? What would you do different if the follower count was smaller?
I feel like I would take more chances doing filmmaking techniques and stuff like, well, I mean, stuff that you've talked me out of doing, which is yeah.
Oops.
Well, no, but I think it ended up being a good thing.
Yeah. Well, my thing about filmmaking is that you've built something very immediate, which is a dream for most filmmakers, where like instead of going out and asking for permission and budgets and finding actors and like, feeding the crew, you can run outside and make magic in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's not precious. I think that's like, I'm super jealous of that. Even having a YouTube channel, it's like, fuck, I gotta edit, I gotta write stuff, and you, on the other hand, you're doing this stuff. We got to talk about your TikTok at some point tonight.
Yeah.
Your TikTok stuff alone, just the last couple days, has been like blowing my mind, and it's so stupid and simple, right?
Yeah,
it's not the kind of thing that you could show like an executive in a meeting and be like, "Look, I'm a genius."
Right.
But like when you're sitting in your bed and you're like, "I love this. I wish there's 3 hours of this stuff. This is great."
Yeah. Well, and that's something that I need to learn to appreciate more, because coming from like a filmmaker's perspective, and that's sort of been like cinematic languages is the language that I speak the best. Taking that and sort of like not being disallowed to use it in such a way where, I mean, I can do it if I want to, but it's not, I agree though that I don't think it would be as impactful as it has been. This stuff is like superly simplistic and minimalistic, that I think that's why it works, and I want to cultivate that instead of just ongoing with what I have been doing. So that's why I'm wanting to make sort of a transition after this story arc, if you will, of the Twitter account. I'm gonna change the whole format basically.
I think the way that you do tell this story right now, and I know you're working on other things, but I think the reason it is such like a success and such a hit is because it's so intimate and because it feels so believable.
Yeah.
I think, like, not to completely draw this back, but like, the Blair Witch stuff is like huge right now, and I've been watching a lot of like material on it, and know, like the original Blair Witch Project movie, and I think the reason that was such a hit was because people believed it, like they thought it was real. And I remember when you first came out and people were sending you photos of their windows with the light outside, and they were like, homie, like, looks all good here. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right.
Great.
Yeah, you're totally right. Well, and I'm the biggest fan of the Blair Witch Project. Just ask anyone that knows me. They'll be like, oh my God, he doesn't stop talking about the Blair Witch Project. Because I recognize that, and I see that, and I see a lot of the things they've done, and I wish that was still implemented in a lot of ARGs or ARG adjacent stories today. I wish people appreciated that more. And so I do agree, and I definitely want to keep that. Like, that's something that's a part of the rare jewel that I need to treasure and cultivate with the Twitter account. I think the thing that I'm wanting to transition out of is having these giant arcs. Like, I think it would be like, imagine how the Nat account, the Lost Sun News account. Imagine if like the whole story structure was like that, a little bit more serialized than that, like not just like one story for each tweet, but having a lot of different stories and a lot of like having just feeling the world more rather than focusing on this one particular character's journey over the course of a year and a half. Which I think, I'm not saying that I don't like that I have done that, but I think for this to grow and for it to evolve, I think this is the big next step that I'm wanting to go.
I love that, dude. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Thanks, man.
You and I have talked a lot about how these long form stories are interesting initially, but it's kind of like when people write TV, when you're when you're 6 seasons deep, it's like, God, how do I? This almost becomes like a burden of like, I wish I could close this story down and tell another story. I mean, you see that even with Breaking Bad, where I love me some Breaking Bad, but you can see now they went back with better. What's the Saul show?
Better Call Saul. Yeah.
Better Call Saul, and now they're doing the movie where it's like this universe that they built. It's like there's a lot of little stories in there, and had Breaking Bad gone on for another couple seasons, it would have been like, oh my God, can't we just do other stuff? And it's not that it's not fun, it's that it becomes this big thing that you've got, especially somebody like you, Aiden, who's got like a million ideas.
Right.
It must be really tough. It's like, I got to keep telling this one story, no matter if I wake up on a Sunday and I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be great to do this? And it's like, well, I got this one story I got to finish out.
Right.
And having something more serialized is going to let you be like even more creative more often.
Yeah.
And I think especially for a guy like you, that's a super plus.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So anyway, to wrap a little bow on that, I guess, so that's the plan for the Twitter account. Now, the web series is still going to happen, and that's its own beast that I'm tackling, but I'm going slower with it. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm constantly working on it, and I'm hoping it will be sometime this year, fingers crossed, but don't quote me on that.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. and I love that I can do both, because I love like cinematic language and I love this other stuff that I'm doing, and I'm glad that I can streamline this and be able to do both. And that's also why I'm doing this live stream, is because I want to share that with people and see, like, this is where I'm at, like, this is what I've been doing. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. We've talked through a lot already.
You've got a few people in the comments. Oh my God, it's Jamie! Hi, Jamie.
What's up, Jamie?
Sorry.
Inside of mine in the chat. I saw someone earlier say that, am I going to do an original soundtrack for the TheSunVanished web series? You bet your bottom dollar I'm going to be doing an original soundtrack. It's going to be great. I've already been working on it. It's been so fun. It's interesting the way a lot of time, and I did this for the TheSunVanished too, even though I don't use any of it, I will actually make music for my projects before anything else, just to get a tone, and then I go from there, which is, I feel like, is a really weird process, but it helps me so much, and it's so much fun, and I love making music. TSV2, huh? Yep. Selt, you're absolutely right. TSV2.
So what's your timeline for this, Aiden? What do you think? How's this going down?
As soon as possible. I don't know when that'll be, but I mean, I want it to be soon for sure, because I do think it's been dark on the Twitter account for way too long, as I've been figuring all this out. But I'm glad, I am glad that I took the time to sit down and sort of get a break from it all, and like reprioritize myself and streamline all of this. And that's the other thing too, because I'm gonna start plugging the Patreon. Just a warning, everyone.
Yeah.
But with the Patreon, I'm wanting to have that as sort of as a center for all of this, as far as like what I'm wanting to start doing for the Patreon is to have monthly or more than monthly videos on my creative process, like very specifically what I'm doing, exactly how I'm doing it, both the philosophical end of it and like the tangible, like the technical stuff. I want to go through both and sort of do like vloggy videos through all of that. So that's something I'm really excited to start doing, and a reason why you should become a Patreon, because it's gonna be awesome. And on top of that, I'm also wanting to start doing vlog updates on what I'm working on, sort of like broad scope, what's new with my projects. I'm wanting to start doing that on this channel for everyone monthly as well. So, and I think that will give me more of a tangible, like, this is like, so that people can know what I'm working on, because I like being silent throughout all this like back end process drives me nuts. I really don't like it. And it's obvious that the audience doesn't like it either. So I want to clue you guys in on everything I'm doing as much as I can. Yeah.
I mean, I think that just in like my mentions, I still see at TheSunVanished every single day. I see it in my comments all the time. I told you, it's like an hourly thing for me. So definitely people are, they're still so invested in you and still so invested in the story. But I think it's so dope that you're kind of like creating a central hub for that information, just so they can, they can check in and everything.
I so want to get rid of the what's happening with the TheSunVanished. Is that's like that's, I mean, that you guys are suffering more than me probably. You get the front end of all of that.
Listen, I don't mind, because it reminds me to check in, and I'm like, oh yeah, has he updated?
That's fair.
I realize that you haven't. I know that, it's kind of the only active big thing on Twitter right now too. So
is it really?
far as I'm aware, yeah.
Wow. See,
Sorry?
I'm just surprised. I didn't know that.
Who were talking to about this? I was telling someone the other day that TheSunVanished is the only active like thing left lately. It does seem like that medium of storytelling and using Twitter specifically really blew up, and now it's just
yeah.
The other one was the Gregory88 account, but I think he's on hiatus.
Yeah, he's been on hiatus for like, gosh, did that go on hiatus in January? Wow. Oh my gosh.
See, it's tough. These big stories, man, they're tough to close out.
Yeah.
I know the guy who did Gregory88, and he's pretty big, and this is not his first thing, so I'm kind of wondering if I'm wondering if he's taking it else. Like, I'm wondering if it'll be, I don't know,
interesting,
a different medium of storytelling and something more monetizable.
I had no idea that was going down.
It's a whole business.
Nice.
Well, you're a pro, and that's why we love you.
I appreciate that.
That's why my Twitter name was Loey Lane Aiden Elliott Stan for like 4 hours.
Yeah, that was like my favorite 4 hours of that day, for sure. Unknown Gaming says, Aiden, if you ever want a souvenir from Burkittsville, let me know and I can make it happen.
That's so
Unknown.
Cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
But you know what's even cooler? I'm going to Burkittsville in October. I'm going for so they host a Blair Witch Experience every year, and this is I guess it's the 20th anniversary. No, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's gonna be like a huge thing, and I'm going in October, and I'm gonna be filming the heck out of that for sure.
So cool.
So, Aiden, what are these other projects you're working on? Because
that's a great question.
I know you've always got a lot of stuff cooking.
Yeah.
You just started this TikTok thing, which you're slaying the TikTok game now, I guess.
It kind of happened one night, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make it happen. I haven't seen enough good stuff on TikTok, so gotta make it myself. Here, there's a link for TikTok. I definitely want to do more with that. So that's one of my projects. Another project that I can't really talk about.
Well, what are you doing on TikTok first?
Okay, yeah.
Walk us through your TikTok game.
As of now, it is going to just be like horror shorts, basically, or like anything that I feel like making that can be fit into less than a minute. And sort of utilizing the medium with that, and doing some cool tricks, some cool magic tricks. I don't know exactly what that all is going to look like yet. I'm just leaving it open-ended of like, if I ever get any ideas, I'll just do it, and have it there. And it'll be a cool thing to have to like cultivate. I get the creative juices flowing of like, this is something small and easy and fun that I can do in like an hour, and just let that be it.
Yeah.
It is such an untapped, marketplace overall. I mean, literally my management on a daily basis is like, make TikToks. And I have nothing to make them about. But I think that producing like actual content where there's some thought and some,
right, exactly,
behind it, there's not any of that really.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be so cool.
That would be so cool. That's why I'm hoping it'd be great if I could start a trend like I did with Twitter, because like TheSunVanished started all of these like horror Twitter stories all of a sudden, and I'm hoping that TikTok will be the
some
same
of them
thing.
are so good.
Okay, all right, cut him some slack. I'm
sorry, I don't mean to hate, but like ever since you have started TSV, I've got a million like replies from people who are like, where did everybody go? And it's like, oh no.
Oh my God, Odin, I remember it was not that long after you started blowing up. And I fell down, I took screenshots, but I fell down a rabbit hole of people who were not trying to even like recreate the Sun Vanished, but it was just like, I remember there was one account that was like my DVD of Shrek 2 vanished. And it was like,
Yeah, those are so fun. Those are so fun.
So funny.
Yeah, Jamie, the van vanished. Yep. Oh my God.
But no, I got the same. I got the same thing where people were like trying to incorporate themselves into your story, which I think is, if you're gonna make a story, make a story.
Yeah.
Inside of mine, those kinds were great. Yeah, they were. They were so funny.
Well, that's also something I'm wanting to do with the Patreon as well, of like having these production diary videos, like vlogs of like showing my process. Like I want to what I would love for it to turn into is sort of a creative workshop for people who are wanting to do stuff like what I'm doing. And if they want to learn how I'm doing it or what to look for, what I'm looking for at least. I'm not going to say that I'm an authority on the subject because I don't know what I'm doing half the time. But I want to cultivate something like that, and I think if I can pull that off, I think that will dramatically increase the quality of people using Twitter and using the medium well, and not just doing the TheSunVanished ripoff. Because I think there's a lot of creative people out there. Like I've noticed that, especially with like when I started the Lost Sun News account and I opened up the DMs to people, like people are really, really good with like surprisingly good. Like, why are you making like the kind of good that like why are you making like a fan fiction for me essentially instead of like doing your own thing, which is I at least I hope that turns into them eventually doing their own thing. That's what I would hope to cultivate. And by the way, if you guys in the chat, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask away. I know we've been kind of chatting here, but I'm trying to watch the comments as it flies by.
All right, so we covered TikTok.
Okay, yeah.
What else you got?
So I have a secret project that I can't talk about, except
what?
I am.
What? Yeah,
not
you gotta
yet.
talk about this.
Not yet.
You gotta give us something.
Not yet. It will be hopefully by the fall. There will be some stuff out there. I want to just release it and let it get into circulation, and people will probably attach it to me pretty quickly once it starts fully. But I just want to see how that goes first, and I want to see if people can find it. So be on the lookout. But you'll eventually you will hear about it from me. You will know about it. And
Unknown Gaming is asking the question that I was thinking.
What's that?
Is it a Pornhub account?
It's not a Pornhub account. I promise.
That's immediately I was like, somebody's got to open up Pornhub into the next ARG kind of like ground.
I will never do that unless Pornhub turns into like the next Twitch, which goes
legit.
Yeah.
They go legit. Yeah.
No, Gaming said the condom vanished. Ew.
Yeah. Yikes.
Oh no.
Sorry, this might have taken a turn. This is on me.
Yeah, come on.
I'm so sorry. Leave Aiden Elliott in his hands alone.
So you're implying basically that you are building some new independent story.
Yes.
Going to be deployed somewhere on the internet for us to discover.
Yes.
And it will be vaguely obvious that you did this.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Capacity TF2, I'm sorry, says, is the long pause on the update to TSV's Twitter for story reasons or behind the scenes reasons? Always both. Always both. I have a habit of whenever I have like a long drought of TSV tweets, when I come back, I have developed an in-story reasoning for it. Because if you don't, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of cheap to not to. Like, oh yeah, I'm just back now. So yeah, and I try to make it as interesting as I can, and I think it's worked most of the time. I don't know about all the time, but some of it has been sort of out of my hands.
I get that. Are there any other methods of or any other forms of media, I guess, that you want to play with this universe? I mean, obviously I know you're making the web series, which is going to be but is there anything else we should be keeping an eye out for in terms of this universe, like right now?
Not that I can think of. I definitely want to keep like the ARG aspect of it on Twitter if I can, because I think for people, because once you start getting too convoluted, then you start losing people, and that's the last thing I want to do. Especially when there's a lot of people who are following TheSunVanished who don't even know what an ARG is, or don't know where to look. They don't even know that I exist. They don't even and I've not been shy with putting my name out there, and yet they I still get people to this day who are surprised or like, what, I didn't know that you did blah 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 blah. So it's like there's a lot of people that are just not immersed in the community, and that's okay. That's the kind of people that I want involved. So to cultivate that, I want to like keep everything as self-contained as I can.
Which makes sense, and I think that's a great idea. Just wondering if I should be like scrolling through the depths of like MySpace.
No, no MySpace TSV, unless he goes back in time or something.
MySpace TSV, it's amazing. Coming soon to Facebook.
Oh man.
I had tweeted out. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just the face. Don't say that ever again. No Facebook. No Facebook ARGs ever. So what were you gonna say, Loey?
My volume wasn't up high enough, so I was just talking over you. I had tweeted out specifically to see if anyone from my audience had any questions for you, and I don't know if this is something you're comfortable answering, but someone just asked, like, generally speaking, how in the world did you even come up with the concept of TheSunVanished? Did it just come to you one day and you're like, oh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like. That's a question that I get pretty often, and I never know how to answer it quite correctly. I feel like I give like a really crappy answer every time because, and that's probably why people keep asking it, because they don't get a good answer. Because it's not definitive, at least in my head. Like I wasn't thinking about, there wasn't like a set of events that happened and I was like, oh my gosh, this would be great. Like there isn't like a super great story to tell of like how it came about. It just sort of happened organically.
I know for me with writing, it's like something small will happen and my paranoid brain like goes through a million different scenarios of like, well, what if this had happened on top of it?
Yeah.
So I didn't know if it was something where like.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty accurate, I think. So I'll tell the story real quick for those who haven't heard of it.
God, this is so cool. I'm so excited. I'm ready.
So like I was working on a short film with a friend of mine to put on this channel, and we were just, it was just for fun, it was just whatever, and we were working on it, and I had this idea of basically what came to be the strobe monsters, and that was gonna be in the short film, and it was just these two guys like running away from these monsters, and it was like gonna be like a 3 to 4 minute short film about this, and we filmed a little bit of it. And I went back home, and I was like, it'd be great to start, like, to do, like, an ARG type of thing, to, like, promote this short film, because I thought that'd be fun, because why not? And so I sort of developed the idea more, and because originally it wasn't even about the sun disappearing, it was just about these these strobe creatures coming out at night, basically, and then no one knew why. So then I sort of, from there, I went on to, oh, well, what if it's always night? What if the sun is just gone for whatever reason? And so, I developed that whole idea, and then I made the Twitter account, TheSunVanished, and I started tweeting on there. I did a couple of videos as sort of like a third character, and his like, originally his notes were going to be kind of like sprinkled around, or like references to this third character who was running the Twitter account in game, would like sort of be around in the short film, so it would all be connected. But then after RedHotPunch, Fantastic Daily back in the day, I sent him the Twitter account, just like, oh hey, check this out, this is kind of cool. And he's like, dude, what? This is like the coolest thing ever. And he like called me up right then, and he was like, dude, let's make a video about this. And I was like, okay, that'd be.
I loved it. I was like, dude, this is fire.
And then it all snowballed from there, as far as like how like it blew up pretty quick after that. Within a week it had like like 20,000 followers. And so at that point I was like, God, this is golden. I accidentally stumbled upon this golden egg, and I was like, I need to rework this whole thing. So I ended up scrapping like the short film, basically. I just we never even finished filming it anyway. I just scrapped what we had, and I sort of reintegrated like those characters that were going to be in the short film, and they eventually turned into TSV and Danyan. And I like combined things and consolidated everything and made the Twitter story into what it turned into. So that's how the initial process started. I don't think from there it's like all a blur to me, because it's just all like I'm constantly just I did bump my microphone. I just constantly started just doing things organically, just like, oh, this would be cool, oh, this would be fun, and then I put out like bullet points of like how of like story beats that I wanted to go to, what I wanted the whole thing to be about thematically. So I've sort of reverse engineered it almost, which I don't know if I would recommend other people doing, for a lot of reasons that's like a whole other can of worms I don't know if I should get into. But I certainly ran into problems and still continue run into problems, just understanding my own universe because of the way I engineered it. There's still like there can be holes and things that I have to like patch up and like figure out later than I would like to, admittedly. But I mean, people like it. It works, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're doing great. I mean, I think, I'm biased because I love the story, but I think the story has been phenomenal.
Thank you.
Pick at the plot too horribly. Like, I don't want to ask any questions, like, if you don't want to answer them.
Yeah.
So just feel free to tell me to shut up.
Yeah.
I'm also like, I've had like 5 shots of espresso and a Red Bull today. I'm off the walls. So like,
oh my gosh.
Okay. Character in the current TheSunVanished Twitter story, is he like, I guess my question is he an integral part of what would turn into the web series? Or is it just going to be like slightly, I guess I don't even know what I'm trying to ask.
Are you asking like how much overlap there is between the Twitter and the web series?
Yeah.
Okay. So the beautiful thing, at least I think, is that the Twitter account and the web series are going to be almost completely separate. There might be references to the TSV Twitter account in the web series and maybe vice versa. But ultimately, the web series is going to be following a bunch of different characters and sort of more of an anthology structure, of like, here's how this character reacted to a certain part in the timeline of this TSV universe, and here's like how another reacted, and maybe they cross paths or whatever. So that's how it's going to be, and the Twitter account is going to stay separate from that, at least for now. If something works out, if there's something that's magical down the road, then I'm certainly open to it. But as of now, I want to keep the Twitter account and the web series separate. So it's gonna be legit. I'm excited.
I'm so excited. I think it's gonna be so cool.
I bought a ton of equipment for this. I mean, I needed equipment anyway for my other things, but I bought a lot of new stuff just for this, and actually in part thanks to patrons. I made that money go a long way, and I'm very happy about that. Someone said, wait, let me scroll up. There's a lot of questions I wasn't looking at.
You guys can pledge to Aiden on Patreon.
Yes, I'll let Loey plug my Patreon for me.
Thank you for it. Not sponsored in any capacity. Aiden Elliott does not have me on payroll, but I do believe that pledging to his Patreon does improve your life by like a solid 25%. So if you're at like 100, like go to 125. You know what I mean? So
I love it.
Once again, not sponsored in any capacity.
Yes, no. Hashtag no ad.
But please follow the suspicious-looking link to go to patreon.com/Aiden Elliott with 2 T's.
Yes, that's important.
God, how many times have I screwed up the 2 T's, Aiden?
A lot. A lot of people have.
So many times. So many times.
Here, I'll put the link in there. So some people, wait, let me scroll up here because there's a lot of questions I missed. Let me see. Are there other Twitter accounts in the works to build upon the universe of TSV? Not now. There could be. I'm not going to say whether I'm planning to or not. But as of now, you don't have to be searching for anything. Anything else besides the 3 accounts that exist right now. Is there a blue light outside your door? Probably. Yeah, probably. Let's see. Do you think TSV would be this popular today? I don't know. I don't know if I feel like I lucked out a little bit on like being at the right place at the right time, which is a good thing. I'm super thankful for that. I don't know if I mean, it's only speculation, but I do feel like I caught like the perfect, like the stars aligned for a TSV to get big. There were not any other trends, at least that I knew of at the time, that were really big. There was like really nothing going on. It was kind of a dead period in ARGs, and even outside of ARGs, there wasn't anything. So that's something to. I mean, I can get into that a ton later, but I feel like I try to keep track of analytics and trends and all of that, especially on Twitter, because I think if you keep track of that and you're kind of have a touch on the pulse of it, I think you can sort of use Twitter as more of a tool than just like riding the waves, if that makes sense. But there's still a fair amount of riding the waves, for sure. I
think it's, but it's also good to jump on what is going to get you the most traction and what's going to, gather eyes. And it's definitely like, it's kind of like bite-sized, right? It's like bite-sized storytelling where you don't have to eat it all in one day. You can look at it and like digest slowly over a long period of time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you guys have to do that, right? I mean, as YouTubers, you guys are sort of doing maybe not as consciously, but you're following what's going on, and you kind of have to ride the waves just a little bit.
Yeah, of course. I think, and I think that everybody goes through periods where they might change up their content, depending on what's new and on trend, while still staying true, obviously, to like their core. It really is about kind of seeing what's going on. That's how, you stay relevant.
That's really cool, though. See, Loey, your job is really interesting.
You think my job is interesting, Aiden? You write horror stories on the internet.
Okay, it's interesting, but it's not like a job. It's still kind of a hobby. I'd love for it to turn into a job and be like an actual profession. And I'm on track to head that direction, but I'm certainly not anywhere near it being feasibly, for me to stay afloat doing it.
Inside of Mine says that donating to Aiden's Patreon will extend your lifespan by 10 plus years. So
thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that.
That sounds right.
Right? It's honestly like your skin clears, your crops they flourish.
Yes.
No dogs die in video games. Like it literally.
You're so right. You're so right. How do you think I look as great as as I do? It's because of my Patreon. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I saw something and I lost it. What were some of the scrap plot points you considered implementing? Ooh. See, I don't know if I want to say. I mean, there are certainly things that I've wanted to implement that I haven't, but there's also a chance that I still might at some point down the road. So I'm gonna keep my mouth zipped on that one. That's a great question, though. Thank you, Alyssa. How did you make the newsreel in the first tweets?
That's a great question.
It was super simple, guys. All I did, I got some stock footage of like fires and riots, whatever looked good. I took that and then I made my own CNN lower third banner. And then I hired a voice actress on Fiverr to do the dialogue. And then I recorded that off of my computer screen. That's all I did.
So crazy. Because that was one of my biggest questions as well. Like I said, the way that you tell TheSunVanished is super intimate and like feels so realistic. But I was sitting there the whole time like, how on God's green earth? Like... together.
I'm surprised people didn't like gather that though. Like I don't know, maybe to me
that's
it's like
not obvious. Not
really?
At all.
Okay.
No.
That's interesting.
I guess that's what's so interesting is finding out like those workarounds and figuring out what you need to do to achieve the things in your story while also making it so believable. Where it's kind of like, is the sun gone? Is it not gone? And this,
Right. Yeah. It's a mystery.
I searched your handle, actually, just on YouTube while I was, just sitting here. I made 7 videos about TheSunVanished.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive. How long are each of them? Are they 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
They're probably like 15 to 20 minutes a piece.
Okay. That's pretty, that's sizable. That's like, that's some good, yeah. I mean, you're making it, that's longer than what it takes just to binge it, but you're doing a lot of, you're talking about it, which is like the fun thing. Like, that's why I love watching your videos and anyone's videos, because I want to hear opinions on it. And then I get bummed out when not everyone, but certain people would just be like, here's a clip show of all the tweets without any sort of opinion or review or critique or analysis at all. It's just like, yep, here's the clip show. I despise that.
Yeah, those are frustrating videos when people just kind of read the tweets.
Yeah. Ugh. That's not we're going to do it right this time. Mr. FD. Not that we didn't do it right the first time, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it fun and transformative.
TSV animated.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! For real.
That'd be baller. That legit would be baller.
Yeah. I say we should do that. Let's see.
I'm saying that Halloween is upon us.
Oh, I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
Friends.
Yeah. There's a reason I played all those songs, man.
Oh, spooky.
Yeah. I'm getting my spook on.
Jamie said TSV anime.
Okay, Jamie. Thanks. Appreciate it.
That's a great idea.
That's not a good idea. Inside of Mine always gives people really, really bad ideas.
They're great ideas, and
they're genius ideas, but they're bad ideas. Bad as in I worry for sanity. Neos asks, how do you find motivation in filming and writing? Going through a rough patch right now and want to know good ways to keep being motivated. Nia, I wish I had a better answer for you, because I still run into times where I'm not motivated, and it's hard to get out of that rut. I think for me, I think the most reliable way of getting out of that rut is just to sort of push through it if you can, and just be making like set goals to make something, like have goals of like, I'm gonna make this thing. It doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be over the top, just tiny little things. I'm gonna make something once a week, or once a month, or once a day, even if you want to give yourself a challenge. But if you can constantly have that flow and never stop, but also not wear yourself out at the same time, there's a balance there. It's a balancing act. But I think if you can do that and keep that centrifugal force, I think it will allow you to not have spurts of not being motivated. And because you just don't have time. You don't have time to be unmotivated. I hope that helps. Ace Flame, have you ever had times where the story didn't happen the way you wanted it to? That's a good question. Not really. I mean, the Twitter poll choices that I had for TSV were always, and to be clear, there were like actual choices, like if you guys chose something else, like something else would have happened. It wouldn't have just been like, oh, it sort of leads to the same thing. Like that stuff dramatically changes the course of the story. Not all of the Twitter polls, but especially the later ones, change the course of the story. Like if people had said for TSV to not go into the city, that would have been a completely different story. Like entirely different, and an entirely different outcome. But I have structured all of it in a way where I'm happy with whatever happens. Like I wouldn't give you guys the choice if I wasn't happy with it, with either choice. Yeah. Are you thinking about collaborating with people like Gregory88? Dude, I would love to. I would absolutely love to collab with people. I don't. How
would that work? How would you even make that work?
I don't know, but I'd find a way. I mean, I have. I don't want to give anything away, but I do have some collab ideas. But it's just a matter of reaching out to the specific people, and that can sometimes be, especially with ARG people, it can be really difficult to get in contact and get in touch with creators. Because I feel like I'm one of the few people who puts themselves out there as much as I do, and there's other people like the creator behind Hi Mary Mary. She has an out of game avenue, but she is still completely anonymous. She has not revealed her face, her name, or anything like that. So outside of her Tumblr, like it's pretty much impossible to get in touch with her. Let's see. What are some of the web series / ARGs that you just enjoy watching? That's a good question. I haven't been able to watch a whole lot lately. Post content is one. I love post content.
So good.
I've been binging a lot of Jack Stauber lately. I really love his work. It's not really like an ongoing story thing, but it's like weird internet art is so fun. Yeah, that's really great. I guess those are the only two. I always want to get like into more web series and ARGs, but I just can't. It's hard for me to find stuff that I'm like wholeheartedly like, I love this. This is great. And I feel like those kind of come once a blue moon. Dad is another one. Dad is really good. Dad post content. Hiya Mary Mary. Even though I guess she hasn't uploaded in a while, or at least not that I know of. Trying to think of anything else. I think that's it. That's all I can think of right now. Scream at me if I forget anything. That's good. What kind of projects would you like to work on in the long term? That's a good question. I don't know. It's just whatever comes to mind or whatever works. Like if I get approached to do like a feature-length film, like I'll be like, hell yeah, I'd love to do that. I love all kinds of storytelling. Like any medium is so fun. Yeah, what else? How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great.
That's good.
I'm doing fantastic, Aiden.
Oh, fantastic. You see, that's not in your name anymore.
I know. It has no special meaning now. Oh, well, listen, you got to rebrand sometimes. Sometimes you're just going to say, fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh, should I not have cursed on this? I don't know.
You already did. It's fine.
Sorry.
I'm not monetized at all. Like, yeah.
Okay.
This channel is not monetized at all. So there it is.
How many views do you have on this channel, or have you put anything?
I don't think I've put enough on this channel for me to. I have enough subscribers for sure, but I don't have enough watch hours. There's like 4,000 watch hours. It's ridiculous.
It's so hard now. Yeah, it's really hard for newer creators. Not that you are, but you know what I mean. Just for like people who have started making content on YouTube to get monetized now.
Yeah. One that only helps people who are like making like daily content, like Jake Paul and whatnot. Like I would have to be doing like these sorts of live streams daily for me to get that, at least right now with how many views I'm getting. If I did a ton of views in a small amount of time, then that would be great. Sam asks who else I'm talking with. Yeah, so let me reintroduce the co-hosts here. So Loey Lane, one of the best YouTubers. Do you consider yourself a storytime YouTuber?
I think I guess so. Yeah, I just make whatever now. I just posted a gaming video today. So
right, yeah.
I focus on like story times, and I love covering web series and stuff like that, but I also like weird things that happen to me on the internet. Like Aiden, I told you, like I made a story time a few weeks ago about being catfished. So
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what I do. I'm just an oddball. My
awesome,
are really weird. I'm so sorry.
No, I mean I started just saying automatically, just oh yeah, she's a storytime YouTuber, but it's like I had to like second guess myself. I'm like, does she like being called that? Because I feel like that's like not. I feel like that can be demeaning to your content because you are way above the bar. Like everyone else who's doing storytime stuff is like not even close to the kind of stuff that you're doing.
Okay. Ow, my heart. No, it's okay. As long as you don't call me a beauty guru, I'm fine. You call me whatever you want.
Just not a beauty guru. Okay.
No, never a beauty guru.
You don't do that, at least that I notice. I mean, I'm a guy, so I don't. I'm not really paying attention to that, but I don't notice you doing a whole lot of beauty videos, at least lately.
but not anymore. It's not the best community.
That's, yeah. I can totally see that.
Stuff now.
Oh yeah, and then our other co-host is RedHotPunch, the newly rebranded Fantastic Daily.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
I went from ridiculously stupid conspiracy theory videos to just animated creepy stories. That's it. Fuck it.
I love it though.
I somehow got dragged into the conspiracy theory world and I fucking hated it. And I was like, I tried my best to like turn the ship, but the ship was not turning. So I was like, I'm burning it down.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't live with myself anymore, Loey. I couldn't do it.
Big mood. The big mood. That's how I felt.
Yeah,
tutorial.
I'm noticing that it feels like a lot of people are making shifts because Loey, you've been doing more and more stuff that's like out of your
right, my usual.
Yeah. And Nexpo has been doing the same. And yeah, it seems like I wonder why that is. I wonder what's going on.
It feels like a natural shift though. You know, the way that like musicians start making different work, you know, as their careers go through different changes. I think what's worse is when the person doesn't change.
Yeah.
You know, like I've been doing this for a couple years and it's like, man, if my content was the same as when I started, it would be weird. It would feel like not right somehow.
It's also just natural, I think. You know, you're growing up. And I mean, I think even Aiden, you can look at previous projects that you've done and see your own growth and see like,
oh yeah.
I know we were just talking about this the other night. Like natural to grow up and evolve with your content. I've been on YouTube for 7 years.
Wow.
Wow, yeah.
I literally grew up with it. I started when I was like 18. So I think, like you were saying, it's more natural to evolve with it eventually and like make sure. Wait, what did Jamie say? That'll be a good move for you, RedHotPunch. What was he talking about?
Oh, the
rebrand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited for honestly what all of us are doing. It's gonna be so fun. I feel like that. I feel really good about this fall. I think this fall is gonna be really exciting for a lot of different reasons.
Because the TheSunVanished and Loey Lane collab is coming out.
Yeah, you're so right.
Is that real?
And is canon.
I tried to make that happen in one of my videos, Loey.
Really
I added you into the story, and I was like, I think it's canon that she's involved now because she they replied each other. Right. So like, Loey is in that world.
Yeah. I mean, and you're not. Yeah, you're not wrong. Like, I can confirm that. Anyone who is at replied is like somewhat in the universe. Yeah.
What's so funny is you're so nice, Aiden. A lot of people who run not as nice as you, and so I remember that I saw when you were FD. I saw that video, and I was like, oh god! I hope he doesn't think I like inserted myself into it. And lo and behold, you're not like that. So nice.
I don't care. No, okay, so walk me through at least as much as you can. Walk me through like your other experiences, because I'm fascinated by this. Like what sets me apart from the rest, I guess, of like the other experiences.
I'll give you my worst one that I'm very public about.
Okay.
And
yeah.
Probably a lot of people in this chat are gonna already know. I had a horrific experience with a man or a woman, I don't know, who ran account. And
yeah.
I'll tell it as a fact. And he was the meanest, or she, I'm sorry, they never confirmed their real gender. They were the meanest human being in the entire freaking world to me. like sent me the nastiest stuff that I never talked about, and like it was like really dark anyways, and I probably shouldn't have been dabbling in it, but like they were just sending me like very nasty stuff, and repeatedly I like wasn't responding to anything, so I was like, okay, like I really hate this. I just felt really uncomfortable, and then at the very end was disabled because they were posting horrible things online. And they turned it into a smear campaign against me and said it was my fault.
Oh my god!
Because I had made
ridiculous.
But like I was very new to it then too. It was like I had covered Dear David, and then I had covered this Teletubbies account.
I was going to say, is it Teletubbies facts? Because I know for a fact that guy is a fucking asshole.
Why? Why do you know that?
Well, gosh, I don't know if I should get into. I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
Get into it. No, you should definitely.
No,
you should definitely.
No, I can't. I really can't. I'm really.
Wait. Let me just back up. Let me just give you some context here. You're on a non-monetized channel. All right. This is a special gift that soon you'll never be able to get back. You should tell that story now. You won't want to tell it later.
I don't want to tell it now. Well, I'll give the very vague, abridged version. Okay, all right. And it's not like just like a ton happened. It wasn't like there's this huge like conspiracy, whatever. But I had talks back and forth with this person, and it was all in. It wasn't even in DMs. It was all public at that point. It was on an account that I don't even have anymore. But there was like name calling and all of this bullshit, and
about what?
Just because I called him out on his bullshit with Teletubbies facts, because I said like he was at that point he was like already like blasting like Rainbot and all of these other people.
Jesus. That's never a good idea.
Yeah, so I like got on his case, and I was like, what I said specifically was like, wow, not only is Teletubbies Facts one of the worst ARGs I've ever seen, but also the creator is a complete asshole. And he went off on me.
That's amazing.
And then his account got deleted, and then I don't have the tweets anymore, so I don't even know. That's also why I don't want to say anything and that it not be right, because that could be, I don't want any. It's all subjective. At this point, there's no. I don't have the receipts.
Jamie's taking credit, by the way. Jamie's taking the credit there.
Jamie, there's no way that you could have been this fucking guy. I only know it's a guy because
Jamie wouldn't say that kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
Speaking of Rainbot's Twitter, I always feel like she is like the example of. Don't fuck with that person because they are going to destroy you on Twitter. Like she's so good at like selectively breaking down some kind of like just half-assed insult, and she just deconstructs it. And it's like that person, whoever said that, they're just left in ruins. And it's just like, oh, don't you learn? You don't do that. Not to her. That's ridiculous. Just pro level breakdown. I love it. Every time she like loses her mind on somebody, I'm like, oh fuck yes, give me more. I want more of that. That's sweet hate.
I almost wish that she would maybe she doesn't want to do this, but I almost wish that she would like pivot her videos to be more like that. I know she's done a little bit, because I know she's had some videos where she gets some serious snark and it's fucking incredible.
Because
I wish it was that. Yeah,
she don't put up with any of it.
Yeah.
She just says what it is, and
it's so
I
good.
remember in the Teletubbies Fact days, she was like, I literally remember when he popped off on me and his like so many followers. I think he had more followers on Twitter than I did at the time, and like he's like popping off on me saying it's my fault, and I'm like going to Rainbot like, what in the world did I do?
Yeah.
Okay, hold my beer.
Exactly. Oh man,
so good.
I love it when she rips like ARGs to shreds. I feel like I don't want it to be mean-spirited, but I also feel like I wonder if we had someone that was doing that, like how much more.
Yeah, it's tough because like the ARG community, on one hand, there are a lot of really young kids. There's like the 11, 12-year-old people who see like what you're doing, Aiden. and they want to do it too. And I get that. And there is no glamour in breaking down an 11 or 12-year-old's creation. Like, that's ridiculous. But on the other hand, there are a lot of people that just suck, or they are just like not putting in a lot of effort, and they are full grown adults. And, you want to see the community grow and have actual criticism and call out trash. And something like Rainbot is just classically so good at that.
Yeah.
And you're right. I would love to see more of that, but it's a hard thing to juggle, because the last thing you want to do is destroy somebody and then find out they're 12.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
I've actually thought about, in a perfect world where I would never hurt anyone's feelings, like looking at some of the, the babies' first ARGs, for lack of a better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would never want to hurt anyone's feelings who is like legitimately trying to do something. It's more so the ones who like constantly message you while in character.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always surprised that people think that's a good idea. It's like we've heard these lessons enough from like the Night Minds of the world of like, just don't do it. Straight up, don't do it.
Yeah.
Literally, Jamie just said, while it would be very entertaining, it would get toxic fast. Yeah.
That's really true.
But no, I guess that to bring it full circle, honestly, Aiden, that's why I was so surprised, is because you were so nice about it, and I had just had this experience where someone was so mean to me.
I'm sorry that I'm like the top of the quality bar. That shouldn't be the case. I feel like this is what everyone should be doing. Yeah.
No, I mean, and I've had some really good experiences. Like I said, I've broken down walls with a lot of people, and I know who's behind ARGs who are supposedly anonymous. So
that's really cool.
That's really cool in that sense, that I can kind of pick their brains.
I wish I could get to that point, because I still am like so in the dark on most of that.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I think the most fascinating one for me most recently has been my computer. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Black for a minute. The most fascinating one for me was peeling down Ash blogs and knowing who was.
Oh.
That was like, I was like, holy cow. But it's kind of like, then you can pick their brains. But it's also like, do you really want to ruin the magic for yourself? And
sure, but for at least for me, I don't feel like ARG creators like network enough, because there's this weird stigma where you kind of like have to be like in the shadows, even afterwards. You're like not supposed to reveal yourself, or like you can, but like people get pissed. And it's like, fuck no, this should just like do it like every other medium, damn it. Like,
yeah, that's a part of the community that I think the Rainbots of the world would be okay going after.
Yeah.
Like the etiquette,
Yeah.
this expectation from the audience of like, no, you're not allowed in any way to take credit for this stuff. It's like, are you kidding me? If we want this to become an art form, if we want this to become something that is like looked at and critiqued and discussed,
exactly,
like the creators have to get involved the way that they would get involved in an art gallery or a movie premiere or something like that.
Yeah.
If we have to pretend like we are just like these Dark Lord prankster types, like what the fuck?
Yeah. But that's how certain people want it to stay, which I just don't. That's just so out of my paradigm. I don't even know how to address that.
Fuck those people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That ultimately, that's how you address it.
Someone said my first ARG is literally the worst. I call them ARGs. Is that like normal?
I say
I'm like a pirate.
Yeah, I feel like either way you're like fucked, because like you either say ARG and you sound dumb because you're a pirate, or you say ARG, and that's
then
like a mouthful. Yeah.
No, but I was gonna say in response to that, like, what I was saying is that, I think people should just create. There is no shame in like creating an ARG, an ARG, like whatever. And like maybe the walls not being like totally secure, and can rework the foundation, and like maybe even you ultimately walk away from it. I think it's so cool that people create to begin with. More so what I was talking about were like the edgelords who like, stay in character and like, get nasty.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any shame, and I never want anyone to think there's any shame in creating, no matter what level you're at.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, ultimately that's what I would love to cultivate, even with these streams or in all that I do. Like, I want to hand people the tools and give them the knowledge of, like, this is how you do it right. This is how you don't be a pretentious edgelord about it, and how you be like a real creator about it. And like, these are all the steps that I do. And if you want to do it like me, then take this and go forth and make your own thing. I mean, that's what ultimately if I can achieve that to some level, I will be so happy. Because there's not enough good content out there in this medium. There just isn't. I need to do a better job by making more of it. But it's also like, I want other people to be making more as well, and making good stuff, and not just like stuff that everyone's like, oh, who cares? That doesn't help at all.
I think it's kind of what you were saying, artist formerly known as FD. What would you like me to call you? I guess I don't know.
Oh no, anything's fine. FD's fine. I've been joking around about Papa Punch because I don't know why. Papa Punch is hell yeah. I want everything. So yeah, no, Lo, if you're asking Papa Punch, that's what I want you to call me all the time. Just to be clear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about everybody else, but Loey, please do me a solid.
Got it. Artist formerly known as FD, artist currently known as Papa Punch. But that's what you were saying about just like, we have to be able to let people talk about it and critique it. Oh my God, Jamie said Papa Punch. Oh God, no. Once Jamie's adopted it, you're really doomed.
Yeah, no, it's on now.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah. It's over.
Jamie said, what about PP? I hate him.
Oh no.
It's going to take off. It's going to take off.
You shot yourself in the foot here.
Nah,
PP.
I love it.
This is going to be perfect.
But no, it's about like, I think it's literally what you said, that once you know, if you're putting it out there, and I think that's what ARGs, alternate reality games, are. They're a game that people are meant to play, and that's why they're so intriguing. So I think like by letting people comment on it and just not necessarily try to involve themselves in the story, or take credit for anything, but just by accepting people's criticisms or comments or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think creators being a part of that artistic conversation is an important part of the art, right? It's not just this should speak for itself.
Yeah.
People who don't know anything about art, that's what they think it should be. This should speak for itself. Well, bullshit, right? Like Scorsese's out there giving interviews all the time. You got artists in MoMA giving interviews all the time to kind of like explain their art. And if we want people to consider ARGs to be like state of the art, which I think it is, right? Immersive media.
Yeah.
Especially, this is going to get a little bullshitty, but like, in an environment where you don't know if you can trust the news, right? The kind of work we do is exactly the kind of work that is the most modern of arts.
Yeah.
Because it is perfectly positioned for our time. Like, is the thing I'm looking in Twitter right now, is that legit? Is that Instagram post real? Like that's a very powerful medium. Yeah. And we need people like Aiden and other guys out there making stuff and talking about it, and not have to worry about some like edgelord being like, oh, you ruined my experience. I thought it was real. I thought the sun vanished. What the fuck? Fuck you, Aiden. Patreon merch.
Sellout.
Yeah, sell out. Yeah, right. Fucking sell out. None of your shit's monetized. You got a Patreon and you sell T-shirts occasionally. You're a fucking sellout, Aiden.
Yeah, God.
What a monster.
Yeah, swinging that $50 yearly.
yeah. What those tax returns look like, Aiden?
Yeah.
You release those tax returns.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Incredible.
Ace Flame says, do you think that there is a line that ARGs shouldn't cross? I think involving real events, specifically like tragedies, is like a no-go. There's no reason to do that. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. If for your ARG you need like a murder mystery, or like there's this murder that happened and it's like in part of the story, make it up. Not only will it be safer for you and for everyone involved and healthier, it will also be a challenge for you to actually create wholeheartedly. Like, you have to build all this stuff from scratch. That's what I did. That's what everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason to involve like pre-existing events. That's just dumb.
Or putting real people in danger is tough. Like trying to make it seem so real that you're implying that these other real people are involved.
Yeah.
Can get kind of hairy.
Yeah.
Me, a big one that actually the bad one I was talking about earlier taught me that I really don't like is just like whenever kids are involved.
Yeah.
Or you know, I get that it's like shock value, or like animals for that matter.
Yeah. Yeah. We had this discussion earlier about the animal cruelty thing. I really despise that in horror stuff, and I will go like. Actually, I'm glad I brought that up, because that's a question that I constantly get with TSV, of like, well, where are the animals in all this? What are they up to? What are they affected by all this? Blah blah blah. I don't even want to touch that, just because out of principle for me, I don't like media that involves animals or any sort of even hinting at animal cruelty. I can't do it. And that's not like the part of the story that I really care about anyway. It's like, who gives a shit if the animals are affected by the strobe lights or whatever? Who cares?
I think a lot of the community of I fundamentally knew as an ARG before I like kind of found more stuff, especially the stuff that's on YouTube, because it has to be safer and more clean.
Yeah.
I would categorize a lot of them as having, or including animals or including kids or, something like that. Or I would see these awful images off of WikiLeaks that I do not want to see. I think that like you protect yourself by being clean in your content.
Yeah.
And you also protect other people. And
it keeps everything above the bar. There's no reason to go there. Nia says, a good question that just came to mind, what do you imagine people being changed by the lights looking like? Nia, I can't say that. I can't tell you. I can't. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. What else?
The very canon Loey Lane, TheSunVanished.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna start involving Loey in the story, and I'm gonna have strobe creatures like track her down.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's just gonna happen. Sorry, Loey. The sacrifice that had to be made.
Oh, it's okay. I'm willing to, go for the cause. As long as I can I'm there.
As long as you can what?
What?
Sorry, you cut out for a second.
Oh no, as long as I can like drag Danyan down to like the depths of hell with me.
Okay, all right. I'm genuinely fascinated by this. So this was sort of an accidental thing, but like it's a real thing now. But like, why do people hate Danyan? So why do you hate Danyan so much?
Me specifically?
Yes.
Okay, so this was accidental, really?
Yeah, initially he was not supposed to be as unlikable as people found him.
There's nothing trustworthy about him. I think that in a post-apocalyptic situation where he so violently like betrayed the main character already, I've never trusted him, just like never. And maybe I influenced some of that in like my viewers. I was like, I don't like Danyan, I don't trust him. But I don't know. There's something so fundamentally like, I really thought that was intentional, and that Danyan was. I think you're trying to mislead us. I'm convinced he's bad.
Well, I mean, I I'm not going to tell you when it started being intentional.
Okay.
It could have been crazy early on. It could have been crazy late. Who's to say? But at one point, it was not intentional until people started bringing it up, and then so that's one of the examples of like the community, like the audience, like outside of the Twitter polls, the audience has an effect on where the story goes. Like if people did not feel that way about Danyan, I wouldn't have gone that direction. So it's stuff like that, and that's like a super fundamental part of the story now. As far as like the relationship between Danyan and TSV and how all that goes. So that's become like basically the core of or one of the a part of the core of TSV. And that was accidental initially, and then it became a part because of community interaction. And that's one of the cool things I really like about this medium, because it's like choose your own adventure book on steroids and actually done right.
I love it. No, Oh, okay. Somebody just worded this so well. It's Ace Flame 01.
Yeah.
In a situation like TSV, sometimes you have to force your trust for someone when you're in dire circumstances. Like
Yeah.
I think that I automatically trusted Danyan because TSV was all alone.
Uh-huh.
And like we haven't seen anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's like his old bud. I don't know. Somebody said, what betrayal were you talking about? And I guess it's just that like he didn't show up. I think that the strobe lights, the strobe daddies, I think that they have him. Like I have something in my head that's kind of like, this is just like my conspiracy video now. Hello.
Yeah.
Thing like Bird Box, where like certain people aren't as affected with people. And I think that Danyan is fundamentally bad, and so I think he's working with the bad guys.
Interesting. Okay. Also, I like how you slid in strobe daddies just under the radar. Like that's completely casual. I can't. Oh gosh, I can't believe that happened. Can't believe that. The internet's crazy. The internet's crazy.
Wants to draw the strobe daddies. Just, you know.
One of my favorite things is whenever I come back to TSV after like a lull in the story, or like if I have like a break and then I come back, there's like a whole new culture of memes in the replies. Like the entire meme culture has completely shifted and changed, and what people find funny in between the months that TSV has been gone and then comes back. That's like one of my favorite things. I can't wait until I start tweeting again. And I get to see a whole new batch of like how meme, like I feel like you could accurately measure the changes in meme culture just by looking at TSV replies from early 2018 to now.
Incredible. It's like an instant.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like a time capsule, and you get like a
literally.
It's so incredible.
That's so funny. This just got me thinking about this. Do you think that like the character behind the account, do you think he has any idea the magnitude of the amount of followers he has? Is that even something he's like in like this, you know, crazy situation that he's in, or does he like understand gotten? Because I feel like sometimes he tweets and it still seems so innocent and so like, you know, he just seems like a kid who's and in this like awful situation, just like kind of venting out into the universe, into the only thing that he has, a conscious thing of like, holy cow, 500,000 people are following me. Or do you think it's more so like he's just so focused on surviving? Think about it.
Yes, is my answer. That helps none.
Right.
But yeah, that's yes.
Okay. Good talk, Aiden. But I get it. Oh,
I'm trying to
Bro
look at.
fist.
Oh, they're bro fisting me. I'm never gonna say that again.
God.
Uh,
Where's Jamie? He's gonna take it and run.
Yeah, Ace Flame says, well, if you're in an almost apocalyptic situation, then you may just be grateful to have people to talk to or support him.
Wow.
It's a good point. I'm staying very neutral on this stuff because this is like it's like the same thing with how I am with what people call the strobe creatures. Like some people call them strobes, some people call them headlights. There's like a ton of different names for them, and they're all right. There's not one particular one that's wrong. Or like, because that's how I feel like that's more accurate. Like in zombie media, there's always this like cool code name for like the zombies, like clickers or walkers or runners or whatever. And it's like this one thing that somehow the entire planet agreed on calling them. That's not how it would work. It would be like 10, they have like 10 different names. Like that's how I mean, if you study folklore, like mythological creatures have like tons of names. There might be one name that's more popular than the rest. But there's not just like one unified name that everyone agrees on. So I love incorporating stuff like that into TSV, and that's just one of the examples. I mean, it goes way deeper in that, but
One just called them deadlights, and I think that's my favorite one I've ever heard.
That's the one that I injected into the story, and the others are all everyone else. I never called them strobes. I never called them anything else. So if you want like one that's like right, then you can say headlights, but like I said, none of them are wrong. Also, Jamie just said, when will PP make a cameo appearance in the TSV web series? Well, it's funny you say that, Jamie, because this is an anthology web series, and I'm not the only one making episodes. Just gonna put that out there.
Hell yeah. Hear that, folks? Hear that, Jamie? Just you wait.
Yeah, wait for the PP episode.
Pass out.
Madeline says, yeah, I'll refer to them as strobe daddies now. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's enough internet for today. Guys, it's been great. I'll see you never. First of all, how are you? And I have my own names for the light and the normal ones as seekers. The blue ones are hunters. That's cool. Also, I'm good, AJ Moss. Thanks for asking. This is fun. This has been really fun. This went way better than I was. I was so stressed about this earlier because I couldn't get the technical side of things to work. But I'm glad this has gone off without any hitches. And I can say that now because if I jinx it and it goes down, we've spent like almost 2 hours. So I don't think it would be bad at all. But yeah, PewDiePie made an appearance in TSV. I don't know, Willie?
None.
Will TSV add PewDiePie Brofist?
Everyone always asks, where did the sun go? Not, how is the sun?
Yeah, where'd it go, Aiden?
What do you mean? What do you, expand on that? What do you mean?
No, I was making a joke.
Oh, okay.
I was too. No, I definitely was too.
Okay.
Tell us exactly where the sun went. Why did it vanish? Where did it go?
Yeah.
How did it happen? Who is responsible?
Yeah.
Also, has it had any therapy in the meantime? How's its mental health? Is it taking care of itself?
Yeah. I just give like a dossier on like all of the dumb questions, and I just give like stupidly basic answers. God, that'd be awful. And you're the best at keeping information on the story a secret, and I love that as a creator because it always keeps me on the edge of my seat looking for those little slips. Yeah, I do slip up occasionally. I don't think I'm as bad as someone like Tom Holland with slipping up spoilers, but I do just a little bit, and I wish I was a little tighter on some of that stuff.
Sorry, Tom, if you're watching this.
Yeah, I love you, Tom. Actually, I'm more of an Andrew Garfield fan. I feel like...
What? That's ridiculous.
Literally get out.
I knew I was gonna get burned at the stake for that.
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
Back on my man, Tobey Maguire, or get out.
You have to understand. All right. Let me make my.
I don't have to understand anything. You don't have to explain me on this.
Okay.
Like, no, Andrew Garfield, no.
Baby Daniel is based off of Aiden. Aiden's been the villain this whole time.
I feel like, I don't know. I like Tom Holland. Don't get me wrong. Tom Holland's great. And I really like Tobey Maguire too. But one, The Amazing Spider-Man came out at like the most important time for me. And also, I feel like I like that Andrew Garfield gets shit for being like not nerdy enough, but it's like the Tobey Maguire version of nerdy is like so stereotypically stupid that's not even relatable, at least to me. Maybe I just have too much charisma to be to relate to that much of a nerd. But I always related to Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, and Peter Parker more than any of the others, personally. And I really, really like his chemistry with Gwen Stacy. All of their scenes together are great. They're amazing. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Just fine. It's fine.
Listen, I'm not. I almost just said I'm not hitting on Tom Holland. You bet I'm hitting on Tom Holland. I'm not hating on Tom Holland, but
Jamie said I apparently look like Tom Holland, so I will be offended on his behalf.
Jamie, I appreciate you, and you look great. You and Tom Holland look spectacular. Hope you know that.
Hey.
Appreciate you.
Yep, glad we're so happy together. So much drama.
Man, I'm feeling like I'm kind of my energy is like sinking. Do you guys think it's time to call this one? This was great.
Yeah, I gotta get some sleep, Aiden. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not used to you not being Okay. Were you ever a night owl?
I mean, it was easier being a night owl when I was on the West Coast, right? Because like I could fake like I was a night owl while it was still 9 p.m.
Yeah, it's like 9 right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure he's a little jealous of that.
So now that I'm on the right coast, it's different now. Plus the kids, these monsters. We were at dinner tonight. My kid started throwing up.
Oh my
god! He started like pouring. He'd eaten an entire chocolate ice cream cone, and it poured out of him like lava. And, it was a nightmare. Wow. It was a total nightmare.
So whose idea was that?
I don't know. It seems like something you do with kids, right? I mean, he's 2.5. You take him out, you get him ice cream. He looks cute as shit. You take photos of him. It's hilarious. And then we're sitting
eat and like an entire I'm picturing like a full size cone here. Like you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no, it was. That's the bad part. It was really. It was a full size ice cream cone. Dude. And then we played at the park. So we ran all around and climbed.
Oh no!
And then we sat down at this place to get some barbecue, and it just starts pouring out of him. And we realized we had made a critical error.
Yeah, that's critical, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he looked at us like, "Why is this happening, Daddy?" And I said, "I don't know."
God, that's always so surreal to me. Like when you see like kids throwing up, they just look so like confused. They're not in pain or discomfort or anything. They just look like what just happened.
Yeah, because he wasn't like, he's not sick with like a stomach flu or anything. He just had a belly full of chocolate ice cream
and then jiggling it around in his stomach.
Yeah, and he was looking at us like, try to picture a 2-year-old not throwing up. He looks normal. Now try to picture him throwing up. He looked exactly the same, except his mouth was open. It was just pouring out. And he looked, he looked confused and kind of like, can you help me make this stop? This isn't supposed to happen.
But did he ever cry about it, or is it just
no, never. No, he was. If anything, he was kind of shell shocked.
That's always funny to me. Like I feel like kids would like cry after that. I feel like I would cry after that.
No, they're just like he was kind of like, why are we leaving the restaurant? It's like, well, because we, they're about to kick us out. That's why.
Oh my god.
The floor is ruined.
Oh man. Also, okay, so Blader asked a question. What is your favorite tweet or series of tweets in the series so far? Oh my gosh, I don't even know. Honestly, all of my favorite tweets are the video ones. I just love them. I don't think I have a favorite series. I guess between any of the video ones and like the ones talking about TSV's childhood. I think those are the ones I'm most proud of and are my favorite. So yeah. Ace Flame says, "Can I also ask that question to Leroy and PP?" He corrected it. It's okay. No, he corrected it. It's okay. Wait, which question?
That's my favorite typo of my name I've ever.
Dude, that's a pretty good nickname.
That's a good one.
Leroy. God, I'm jealous of that.
AJ Moss says, "My name is Aiden, also so cool. I also run the AJ Lost Light Twitter, but my question is, what are your plans for the TSV universe?" You're just gonna have to see. You're gonna have to find out. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be the Twitter and the web series, so look forward to that whenever that starts happening. And I'm gonna start getting better at communicating what I'm up to on a regular basis. So you can follow my social media here. I even have a nice little banner for my social media stuff. Aiden Elliott on Twitter, Aiden Lloyd Elliott on Instagram. Patreon is there too. Please check out the Patreon. If you like what you see, please just throw a couple bucks my way. It will go a long way for me, I promise. I spend almost oh gosh, I don't know if I should throw out a number. I spend a lot of money on equipment. And this helped tremendously. And this isn't even like I haven't even broken like 20 patrons yet. So the more the merrier. And I promise you'll like what you see through the Patreon. It's gonna become a really fun place. So yeah, I think that wraps things up. Thank you guys for being co-hosts. PP, Leroy.
You got it, man. Yeah. It's so good.
Leroy, I love it.